Have you ever wondered what the future of relationships might look like? We live in an era where the dynamics of relationships are rapidly evolving. The digital age has transformed the way we connect, communicate, and even fall in love. But in this whirl of progress, the traditional pillars that held relationships together seem to be shifting. In today's society, beauty and wealth have taken center stage. They've become the yardstick by which we measure worthiness, the currency for social acceptance. In this race for aesthetic perfection and financial prowess, we've begun to overlook the intrinsic value of character, of genuine connection. Now imagine a world where a man chooses a doll over a real woman. It may sound far-fetched, even dystopian, but bear with me. This isn't a tale of science fiction, it's a potential reality, a question of the future. This man isn't choosing silicon over skin for reasons you might think. He's not driven by some perverse desire or social ineptitude. No, he's drawn to the doll because it embodies the societal ideals of beauty without the complexities of human interaction. Suddenly, the allure of perfectly symmetrical features, of flawless skin, of an ever-youthful appearance becomes attainable. The doll becomes a symbol of perfection, a silent testament to the beauty standards we've sculpted. At the same time, the pressure to amass wealth, to flaunt opulence, becomes irrelevant in this relationship. The doll doesn't care for the size of your bank balance or the brand of your watch. This shift in preference prompts us to question the foundations of our social fabric. Are we reducing relationships to mere transactions, trading affection for physical attractiveness and financial security? Are we sacrificing depth for superficiality, character for charisma, authenticity for artifice? We're walking a tightrope, balancing the scales of humanity and technology, of reality and fantasy. As we teeter on this precipice, we must ask ourselves, but what happens when beauty and wealth become the only defining factors of attraction? Picture this. A man, let's call him John, decides to choose a doll over a real woman. John, a man of average looks and means, feels the pangs of loneliness, like many of us do. But instead of seeking companionship with a living, breathing woman, he opts for a silicone substitute. John's choice, unconventional as it may be, is driven by a myriad of reasons. John's doll doesn't challenge him, doesn't question his decisions, doesn't demand his time or attention. She doesn't have moods, doesn't have bad days, doesn't have emotional baggage. She is, in a word, simple. And in a world that's becoming increasingly complex, isn't there something appealing about simplicity? But let's delve a bit deeper into John's choice. He's bypassing the intricate dance of human interaction, the give and take, the compromise and negotiation that comes with a real relationship. Instead, he's choosing an unchallenging alternative, a relationship that's entirely one-sided. John's doll won't grow old, won't get sick, won't lose her looks. She is an eternal beauty, frozen in time, forever young and attractive. But what does this mean for John? He's choosing a fantasy, an illusion of perfection over the real, messy, and unpredictable nature of human relationships. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about demonizing John's choice. It's about understanding the implications of such a decision. John is exchanging the richness of shared experiences, the warmth of human touch, the thrill of emotional intimacy for a facsimile. John's choice also raises questions about the societal pressures that lead men like him to seek solace in the arms of a doll. Are we creating a world where the pursuit of perfection, of beauty and wealth, becomes so paramount that it eclipses the value of genuine human connection? John's choice could be seen as extreme, but is it really that far-fetched? As we move forward, it's important to reflect on what we're leaving behind. Are we moving towards a future where the allure of the artificial outweighs the appeal of the authentic? Only time will tell. John's choice raises questions about the role of beauty and wealth in our society. Imagine a world where the Johns of society opt for artificial companionship, where the complexities of human relationships are replaced with the predictable and controlled interactions of a doll. This is a world where beauty becomes a construct of silicone and plastic, void of the nuances that make us human. It's a world where wealth buys not only objects of desire, but also the illusion of companionship. In this scenario, what happens to the dynamics of human interaction? When the allure of beauty and the promise of wealth are stripped of their power, how do we measure value in our interpersonal relationships? Without the traditional markers of attraction, we are forced to redefine the worth of an individual. In a society where beauty and wealth lose their currency, we might find ourselves drawn to qualities that are harder to quantify, like kindness, empathy, and intellectual curiosity. In such a society, would we finally learn to appreciate the richness of a person's character over their physical appearance or bank balance? Would we finally understand that being a good and nice person to hang around with is more fulfilling than being around someone who is merely beautiful or wealthy? But let's not forget the flip side. The rise of artificial relationships could also lead to a decline in our capacity for empathy and understanding. After all, a doll cannot challenge us, cannot teach us, cannot grow with us. In a world dominated by artificial companionship, the very traits that make us human, our ability to feel, to understand, to connect, might slowly fade away. This is not to say that artificial companionship is inherently harmful. But as with any technological advancement, it's crucial to consider the broader societal implications. In a world where artificial relationships become the norm, what happens to our understanding of human connection? As we delve deeper into this question, we might just find that the answers reveal more about ourselves than we ever imagined. In this future, what becomes of real women? Let's imagine for a moment, as our society veers towards a reality where physical attractiveness and affluence are highly prized, the role of women could undergo a significant transformation. The rise of dolls, as unusual as it may seem, could indirectly prompt this shift. You see, if the presence of these dolls reduces the emphasis on physical beauty in relationships, it may inadvertently push women to focus more on their intelligence, their skills, their wit, the ability to engage in stimulating conversation, to solve complex problems, to offer insightful perspectives. These could become the new standards of attractiveness. It's not to say that beauty or wealth are inherently negative, they're not. But when they become the sole criteria for social acceptance or desirability, they can lead to a dangerous sense of entitlement. This entitlement, it's like a gilded cage. It can isolate individuals, keeping them from experiencing the raw, authentic aspects of life. They miss out on the joys of personal growth, the satisfaction of overcoming challenges, the thrill of intellectual pursuits. Moreover, when people are valued primarily for their appearance or their bank balance, it can prevent the development of a genuine, likable personality. It's easy to forget, but being a good person, a kind person, a person others enjoy being around, that's what truly matters. That's what fosters deep, meaningful connections. In this potential future, women won't just be the passive recipients of attention or affection. They'll be active participants, shaping their relationships and their lives with their intellect and character. They'll be appreciated not just for their looks, but for their minds, their hearts, their spirits. So what becomes of real women in this future? They become more than just pretty faces. They become individuals of substance, of intelligence, of character. And that, my friends, is a future worth striving for. In a world where beauty and wealth reign supreme, it becomes more crucial than ever for women to be recognized for their intellect and character. So what can we learn from John's story? From our exploration of the world of men and their dolls, we've unearthed some profound observations about society and relationships. The key takeaway from John's story is the potential peril of a society that places beauty and wealth on a pedestal, above character and intellect. It's a stark reminder that our values need an overhaul. We've seen how John's reliance on his artificial companion reflects a broader societal trend. We seem to be gravitating towards superficial allure and material affluence, often at the expense of genuine human connection. This reliance on artificial attractions, whether in the form of a doll or the hollow gratification of wealth, can lead to a life devoid of real experiences and emotional growth. The rise of dolls also underscores the shift in what men might seek in their relationships. It's no longer just about beauty or wealth, but more about companionship and understanding. As the world evolves, the criteria for the perfect partner is changing, and women need to be aware of this shift. It's not about competing with dolls or being the prettiest or the wealthiest. It's about being an individual of substance, intellect, and character. This isn't to say that beauty and wealth are inherently negative. However, when they become the sole criteria for social acceptance or personal worth, they can rob us of real-life experiences and prevent us from developing a likable character. They can make us forget that being a good and nice person is far more rewarding than just being pretty or rich. In conclusion, we need to foster a society where the focus is on the content of one's character, not the size of one's bank account or the symmetry of one's face. We need to encourage intellectual growth, emotional maturity, and moral integrity. The future of relationships may be uncertain, but one thing is clear: we need to rethink our priorities if we want to build a society that values real human connection over artificial attractions.